taking action for you this morning on TV 20 Detroit starts right now.
What's happening in entertainment? From Tinseltown to the Big Apple, this is your weekly entertainment magazine with Greg Dunmore of PulseBeat.tv.
Pulse of a new generation, PulseBeat.tv.
Welcome to the NABJ Salute to Excellence award-winning and Emmy-nominated PULSEBEAT with Greg Dunmore. As we enter this new year, we think of the power of these three areas: media, religion, and politics. And we had a chance to talk to three people that symbolize the absolute best in these areas. We talked to the legendary newscaster from Detroit, Glenda Lewis, and some of you may know her because she had a part in the movie Rocky. And in the area of religion, we talked to Dr. Jamal Bryant, who certainly knows the importance of God blesses the child that's got his or her own. And we talked to that powerhouse Congresswoman who symbolizes the best in politics, speaking truth to power, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. So stay tuned as we will talk about the importance of people who know that power comes from speaking truth to power. Stay tuned.
And when there's hope,
she set the tone when it came to, being a professional black African American in media. She set the tone. Black girl magic personified.
Standing ovation, please, to the great Diana Lewis.
I've been Murdoch. Oh, giving honor to God, I thank you. African American leadership. I've always remembered my mother saying, what life is, it's the mirror of king and slave. 'Tis just what you are and do. Then give to the world the best that you have, and the best will come back to you. This is a night of best for me. I feel like Gregory Hines and Sammy Davis Jr. are tap dancing on my soul. My daughter and I, the Museum of Radio and Television Sciences in 2005, we made history. The only mother and daughter in the country to ever anchor a newscast together. My daughter Glenda, my legacy. 2016, I just have to tell you briefly. It was a Thursday in 2018. I was on a bus to two bus loads leaving my hometown of Coatesville, Pennsylvania, going to Washington, D.C. I had been nominated and I was being inducted into the Smithsonian African American Museum. I'm in the Oprah Winfrey Room for what I've done for young black women. On the way there, my daughter calls me. She said, Mom, you got to beam in your friend. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, passed on the day that I was inducted into the African American Museum. I did television interviews all the way there. My mother was with us then. We get there. I put my shoulders back. I said, oh my, this is a feel-good day. This will be here long after I'm gone. I said, oh look, there's CBS and ABC and NBC. Let me get it together here, what I'm going to say about my journey, my 50 years in the business. I get out of the car, wouldn't you know, Miss Lewis, tell us about Aretha Franklin. I said, damn it, Ree, you done stole my thunder. Damn it. But it was all right, because she is and always will be the Queen of Soul. I thank you. God bless you tonight. I feel so good. It's so wonderful to stand here. I've had a wonderful time. I will be with you when you call on me. I'm here to help and do whatever. You already know that. 50 years plus, here she is. We've got a Lewis Legacy Initiative going for caregivers. This is something new that Glenda is starting, the CEO. All caregivers, because that's what God put on me. That's what I did when they said, what did you do, Miss Lewis, while you were retired? Well, my only sibling, my brother, left me in 2021. We took care of him. I took care of my mother at 103. In 2022, she left me. 12/23/23, my husband, Sergeant Glenda Lewis of the Vietnam War, one of the boots on the ground soldiers, he left me. It was the best thing God ever put in my life. I was a caregiver. Hallelujah. And all of you who are caregivers, my daughter has help coming. We have a legacy going. We have an initiative going. We have a nonprofit, and we're here to help. And believe me, I'm going to lead this. I'm going to lead this march. We're going to help you. I did it night and day, 24 hours a day, and there was no greater reward or no greater joy. I took care of my mother. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you. You made me feel so good tonight. This is a wonderful night for us to celebrate each other. It's about African American leadership. Thank you, my sister.
Wait, I want to say this, and I told her and her daughter this before, and I'm sure everybody will agree with me. When you turn on the news today, it's hard to find people that you can trust. Growing up, I knew I can trust you, and I know I can trust you, and that is hard to find. So no, thank you.
God bless you.
I have to ask this: how does it feel being coming from a legacy, the Lewis legacy? How does that feel?
You know, my mother describes it as in my footsteps, but she's wearing her own shoes. But I describe it as touched by an angel. We're best friends. My mother is my everything, and to be able to be her daughter, but grow and watch her as a professional and work with her for 9 years and explore that aspect of our relationship, it's just, and then make history. It's been phenomenal. Yes.
Thank you. Tell us about the nonprofit organization, because she says the people want to get involved, they need to go through you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. As my mother was saying on stage, you know, my father, my grandmother, and my uncle. So we caregave for 3 people for 15 years, and we know what we needed. And so if there's any small way that we can support a caregiver whose day is ever changing, but it all surrounds around supporting their loved one. It's a labor of love. You inherit that out of love. So anything that we can do, information we can provide, or if it's getting your house cleaned, or a moment of respite in your home, your laundry, your whatever we can do, we want to be there for you. You reach out and share your story, and we'll make sure we provide support.
How can they share their story with you, Glenda?
LewisLegacyInitiative.org. You go right to our website and share your story, and we will respond. And part of that legacy is we want to be with you and in your family. We want to come see you. We want to talk to you and stay in touch with you. So you reach out to us, and we're coming to you.
It was the most wonderful award I think I've ever been presented, because I was presented by my people, African American leaders. Us making a difference, embracing our own, instilling them with what we need them to do. Be confident, be self-assured, be a go-getter, be determined to make a difference. You can't sit home and say nothing and make a difference. You have got to stand and be heard. And if any time more than ever it's necessary for us to take that stand and to use our voices, it's right now.
And obviously to be a servant.
Yes, obviously to be a servant. Murdoch was all over me tonight. I was shouting, giving glory to God always. I start with that and I end with that. To God be the glory.
You are such a legend. Anything else you want the people to know about you and the Lewis legacy?
That we love you all, and we're here for you. And thank you for over 50 years of loving me back.
Diana Lewis has set a standard, and it's a very high one that still inspires, and one that still is a standard that anybody in media must respect. Now, coming up is a man that speaks truth to power, Dr. Jamal Bryant.
PulseBeat.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature. On a working cattle ranch, they care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need. Imagine booking a hotel reservation anywhere in the world and getting free airline tickets. Yes, when you call our special toll-free travel hotline right now and make a hotel reservation, we'll give you an airline credit, and that credit could equal a free round-trip ticket. We have hotels all over the world, so whether you want to go on a business trip to New York, a family vacation to Vegas, or relax in Acapulco, simply book your hotel reservations with us and we'll give you a credit that could be worth free airline tickets. You can book your hotel reservations right now over the phone, get your credit, and call us back when you're ready to book your flights. It's that simple. Get your trip squared away right now. Make your hotel reservations and get your free airline tickets. Here's the number.
Call 855-577-2596. That's 855-577-2596.
PulseBeat.
All right, I wanted him to hear my introduction. You maybe see, tonight I was actually inducted by him into his family. This is a man who's not afraid to speak truth to power. He's a preacher, he's a teacher, he's a builder. And let me say this and get out the way. I've said to him that he is my leader now. I helped build the National Action Network. I had the first chapter of NAN outside of New York City. I've known Sharpton since I was 18 years old. They do a good work. But just as he had to push Jesse, now we're going to push him, because you got a leader from now on. Jamal Bryant.
I pastor a church in Atlanta with 10,000 members. And I say to the members of my church, how are you a member of this church and you don't have clients? Are you all hearing me? Mm-hmm. You have to create an ecosystem that makes it a knee-jerk. Is that we have to understand that doing business is how it is that we have to move. There are 5,000 publicly traded companies on Wall Street. Of those 5,000, hear this, only 7 are black-owned. Now, if we've got the 12th wealthiest spending power of any nation in the world is black people, every person who is standing in Detroit should be poised for millionaire status. But we don't know how to support each other, and we don't know how to function.
Because there's so much in the atmosphere under this administration to dismantle all the strides of the civil rights movement. And the core of civil rights has always been the black church. So we're taking it to its spiritual center.
And say something to the people who are in the middle and they think they should get involved, but they're not quite sure.
Yeah, power concedes nothing without a demand. A revolution is always an inconvenience. And if you always wonder to yourself, what would you have done if you were alive during Dr. King's hour? The answer is whatever you're doing right now.
And the folks that are saying that this is going to backfire.
There's no way for it to backfire. There's nothing black people have ever gone for that they've been defeated in. And so I think that we have a record of winning, whether it's dealing with lunch counters or schools or even in housing. We always find ourselves triumphant.
Because this is a spiritual moment, what is God telling you right now to tell this audience?
Yeah, that the government is still on his shoulders, but we have to lift up his hands. We are the arms and the feet of God, and so we have to be reflective of that in the earth.
But even in a tragic death, you cannot rewrite somebody's life. And I am all the more concerned about how America and the media is trying to remix a life of racism and white supremacy that went forth unchecked. We cannot say somebody who called Ketanji Brown a DEI hire as somebody who is the face of Christendom when the person who said it dropped out of community college. You cannot say that the Civil Rights Bill should not have been passed and black people were in a better place in the 1940s when they had segregation and did not have freedom. You cannot say in no uncertain terms that George Floyd was a thug and Martin Luther King Jr. is not deserving of a holiday. My heart is mourning today from pastors and churches all over this country who are going to have moments of silence and celebrate somebody who is trying to take the nation backwards.
Who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. Cut the bull, ladies and gentlemen. America is going to have to cut the bull. Somehow or another, they can't find the Epstein list, and they know that Trump is right on it. But I'm going to pause right here because I want to know what white evangelical pastors are going to preach this morning against a president who is accused of sleeping with 3 14-year-olds, but they will not hold him accountable, but they claim that that's God's man. Y'all better cut the bull. He's going to bomb Iran, and then y'all gonna say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves a peace prize like I need a hole in my hair. You better cut the bull. It's 1 year since the fake assassination attempt, and Congress nor Senate has launched one investigation yet. You better cut the bull. They're getting ready to hire ICE agents at $100,000 a year with a $40,000 signing bonus, but you won't pay teachers what they are worth. You better cut the ball. Been praying for me all week. You've been nervous all week, but I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid. If you got real courage, don't show my picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the black Joint Chief of Staffs from the military. If you gonna show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Amazon that does not recognize black dollars or black business. If you gonna put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books. If you gonna put up the picture of the one who is stealing classified information from the IRS and Social Security. If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama to pay $35 for insulin and your child to pay $35 for inhaler. If you gonna put up a picture of those that are jailing children and separating families. I ain't ever scared. In case you forgot, I'm from the west side of Baltimore. If you got a problem, pull up on me.
God blesses the child that's got his or her own. Also, God blesses the child that speaks truth to power. Dr. Jamal Bryant is someone that certainly knows the importance of speaking truth to power. Coming up next is that powerhouse Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who I'm sure is making Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm in heaven above smile, because she knows to be unbought and unbossed is something that must be the mandate of any politician. Stay tuned.
PulseBeat.tv.
If you like what we're doing, please tell a friend. Or if you want to see what we've done again, go to PulseBeatGlobal.com. That's PulseBeatGlobal.com. You can also go to our PulseBeat TV YouTube channel and you can revisit what we're doing. And once again, you can tell everybody that we're doing something that is so exciting that they wouldn't want to miss it. Remember PulseBeatGlobal.com or the YouTube channel PulseBeat TV.
Attention timeshare owners. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently. Call the number on your screen today.
Before we get into the deep stuff, I just got to ask you, if you mention your name anywhere you go in this country, people are loving you all across, all demographics. Seniors, that 25, 54, and you know what's happening below the 25. They're just crazy about Jasmine Crockett. Do you feel it? Do you see it? And what do you attribute that to?
I do. I do see it. I do feel it. It is one of the reasons we're evaluating whether or not I can do some interesting things in Texas at this moment, because we don't have data that supports whether or not what I feel is actually accurate. I attribute it to walking in God's purpose on my life. I believe that when you walk in his purpose, there are doors that only he can open. I was never for any of our government workers being harmed in the way that they've been harmed. But let me be clear about something. They've been harmed ever since this president swore in on January 20th. We've saw an unprecedented attack on the federal workforce. We've seen those federal workers, the ones that they claim to care about when they were trying to reopen the government, which the only reason the government was shut down is because they can't govern, right? Because I do want people to understand that if the party in power had done their work, which means passing 12 appropriations bills through the House and the Senate, they don't have to worry about the 60-vote filibuster. They couldn't get their work done on time. That is the reason that the government shut down in the first place. They technically don't need our votes when it comes down to passing a budget. They needed our vote for a continuing resolution, which is a stopgap because they didn't complete their work. So I want people to understand this was the Republicans' fault through and through. They failed to get their work done, so the government shut down. And then they went to Democrats and said, we're not going to talk to you. We just want you to take this. And that's not how you enter into a negotiation. That's not what it looks like to legislate. These people are not ready. And so, yeah, the ramifications, what's going to happen right now is we are going to see not just those that are on Medicaid and Medicare. They already devastated that when they took $1 trillion out with the big ugly bill. What happened with this is that now we're looking at the Affordable Care Act, those that are getting their health care on the marketplace, whether they're a small business owner, whether they're just self-employed, whatever it is that keeps them from being able to join into a bigger group plan because, say, they're not working for some big corporation. Those are the people that are on the marketplace. And we know that their premiums are going up because of the big ugly bill. All of our premiums are going up because of the big ugly bill. Because the way that insurance works is we all pay in. We all pay into the pot, and we hope we never have to dig out the pot. But if we do, then we want that pot of money to be there. And that is why it sustains. That's why if you say are healthier, your insurance premiums are less because it's less likely that you'll have to pull out of it. So this is a pot game that we play. Well, the federal government just said, let's take $1 trillion out of the pot. That means in order to sustain the system itself, everybody has to pay a little bit more into the pot because they pulled $1 trillion out. So all of us are going to endure higher insurance costs no matter where you get your insurance from. That is the only way to sustain healthcare in general. So that's number one. What the Republicans decided to do as they reopened the government is they refused to negotiate on the expiration of the tax subsidy that said, you know what, while you're already down because your insurance premiums are going up, that is a result of the big ugly bill. Now they timed it to where we're not really supposed to feel the brunt of it. Imagine that. We're not going to feel the brunt of it until after the midterms. That is how they timed it. But with everyone who is in the know, those that are in the industry, looking forward to what's coming, many of them are responding. The market is responding right now, which they did not anticipate. And so as everyone is looking at higher premiums, there was at least a tax subsidy that was available for those that get their healthcare on the marketplace. That tax subsidy is supposed to expire in December. The Republicans refused to negotiate on extending this tax subsidy at the same time in that same big ugly bill where people's insurance premiums decided they're going to have to go through the roof in order to sustain healthcare. They decided that what they would do is give a permanent tax break to the top 1%ers. Permanent. But they will not do a temporary extension to everybody else to make sure that they can stay healthy. It is so disappointing. And the reason that we dug in on this fight is because we have minimal leverage right now, being that we don't control the House, we don't control the Senate, and we definitely don't control the White House. But when they needed us, when the filibuster actually applied, this was our chance to fight not just for our constituents, but rural America uses this more than urban America, to be clear. We know that the state of Florida that has consistently voted Republican, they have more people that are on the exchange than any other state. So let me be clear, this isn't a partisan fight for Democrats. This is a fight for what is right. And I think that that is what we are missing in politics right now, is people that just settle in and say, I'm going to do what's right versus worrying about what is partisan. And the fact that we are debating whether or not people should have access to healthcare, or the fact that our Congressional Budget Office, for the first time that I am aware of since I've been in Congress, decided that they would try to estimate the number of deaths that would be dealt as it relates to legislation. That's not what the CBO does. The CBO is supposed to tell us what the difference in cost is going to be. They were trying to guess how many people are going to die. That is the world that we're living in right now. And that is why I was always going to be a no if we could somehow hold the line and maybe save a few lives. Because to me, by the time I'm elected, I'm not just a Democrat. My official title is U.S. Representative. And I've got to do right by all of us.
Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas.
Thank you so much, Madam Ranker, and thank you so much to our witnesses for being here today. What my colleague, Mr. Krishnamurthy, just talked about was just blatant racism. Like, I'm going to just call a thing a thing. Like, this administration is racist. That he has always been a racist, and that is what we are enduring in this country. Let me give you some facts behind this racism. And they get mad when I say the things that I say, but I will not stop speaking the truth. Number one, I said that what we were experiencing in this country felt like what I would imagine slave patrols to look like. And frankly, anybody that knows anything about slave patrols, this is exactly what it was like. We're talking about lawless people that are going around with no warrants or anything, and it's all about rounding people up and disappearing them. That is what's currently taking place. And interestingly enough, even though modern day policing was born out of slave patrols, when I was speaking with one of my friends who is a federal law enforcement officer, he told me that one of the things that he has observed is that the culture is created at the top. And when I think about it, it absolutely makes sense. If you have somebody at the top that will not tolerate the types of things that we're seeing, then maybe those under you won't do it. But we know that we have a racist at the top. He has called himself the head law enforcement agent in this country, and therefore everybody has decided that it is okay to take off their hoods and mask up as ICE agents.
PulseBeat.